Hi, this is Michele from The Girls Hour. We have a special interview with Crystal Chappell. We featured her on Joy 94.9, and we want to bring her to our podcast so we can share her with all of you. So here she is, Crystal Chappell.
You can look all over this great big world. You can look down every street, in every bookstore, in every dive bar, at every girl you meet. And when you look out over the ocean, from the shores of Venice Beach, you know you'll find the brightest stars, but you'll never find me. Oh, you'll never find me. Oh.
Today on The Girls Hour, we have two-time Emmy Award-winning producer, director, and actor Crystal Chappell. Her career spans almost 30 years, and she is currently writing, producing, and starring in the hit web series Venice, which was established from her production company, Open Book Productions. We want to give a big welcome to The Girls Hour, Crystal Chappell. Are you there?
I'm here. Hi, Jen. Hi, Michele.
Hi. Still nervous and excited. I'll be the little echoing, giddy one in the background.
She's so cute, though, when she does it.
Tickled.
Tickled.
Good.
Tickled's good.
Well, we have to start by telling you that we actually came across all of this opportunity came to us this past week, and it was a listener out in Australia who wrote to us last weekend, which was Memorial Day for us, so we were kind of just hanging out, relaxing, and she wrote to us and said, are you guys following the series Venice and you? And of course, I know you and your name, and your name is in more people's bios on their Twitter than anybody else I've ever seen. I mean,
true.
It really. So, and the listener's name actually is Karen, and she said, just that. So I said to Michele, you know what? It's something I've wanted to do. I'm going to just sit down now and start watching the series. I had some time off. And then before I knew it, it was, 72 hours, no sleep, no work, no glass of water or anything. And I was like, I have to stop.
No. You have to literally stop.
It's like binge watching. And then it just flowed. And, and then we were able to get in touch with you and everything. So for that, we're really excited. Doing our homework, we obviously did a little history, the background of the show and you. The series was inspired by a storyline, obviously from the Guiding Light, Olivia and Natalia. What made you decide to develop the series after the show ended?
Well, first of all, thank you for jumping on board and helping us out with this and giving all that time to the show. I really appreciate it. Guiding Light was my home for a decade, and they're like my family, and we got to the end of the run of the show, and we were telling this beautiful storyline between Olivia and Natalia, and there were a lot of limitations as to what we could do on broadcast television, and it was really, the story ended with the two women together, but never really having had any kind of a true affection. And there was such an amazing, an amazing response to that storyline. Sites being built as a tribute to them, and Big Purple Dreams, and they were pulling lines out of the show, which is where Big Purple Dreams came from. They were writing me, and this was really when we were getting emails instead of snail mail, and it was amazing how much people shared with me and found some comfort in that storyline with these two women, and just seeing some of themselves in these two women. So it seemed to me, it was nothing I'd ever seen before in the 20 years that I've been doing daytime. Mm-hmm. Having had many, 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 many stories, it's nothing I've ever seen before, the reaction. And so it became it was a why not? I love the internet. Let's go. It's new. We can do things that are, we don't need censorship
right.
for, and we can share that affection online. We can tell our own story. And I had just gotten on Twitter. I think Twitter was pretty new at the time, although it seems like it's been here forever, right?
Yeah, a lot of it does, isn't it?
Yeah. And you know, it was really the interaction with the fans that made it possible, and made me go, okay, this is the story worth telling. This is a story worth continuing. So I asked my leading lady, Jessica Lucia, would you want to come do this show on the internet? And she's like, sure, why not? And so here we are,
because
nearly 5 seasons later.
It's phenomenal. And the fan base, we're overwhelmed with the fan base for this show. I mean, they come out of the woodwork. We have a personal friend of ours that is all about it and the crowdfunding, and I learned a lot of it from her. And it just, there's like this community, this underground community from this show. And there seems to be, a lot of soap stars on Venice. Jessica, like you mentioned earlier, Jessica Licha being the first one. Now, how did you get them all on board?
Well, it's not that I'm paying them a lot. If anything.
That's what we're saying. It's like
God bless them. I just asked them, and I think I'm a very lucky person. But I also think actors are just really, especially we're a very tight community, the daytime community. They're like my family, So if one of them calls and needs something, I'm there. There's just something about that community that is very close knit. So, we all know each other, even though we don't know each other. But we respect each other's work, and so this is just kind of a new idea. And I think that people were seeing what was happening with YouTube and all of it, and they also were very, very aware of the Otalia story on Guiding Light, and really wanted to help me support support a community that needed representing.
Okay, I have to ask this question. I have
my giddy girlfriend.
Someday, I actually, and I did tweet this, and you very graciously liked it when I said, the question. You ask people get interviewed and they'll say, who are the 5 people you'd want to have dinner with, past or present. And I wrote after, I think it was Wednesday of this week, that you're one of them. I have watched you.
After the 72
hours.
You
must have a pounding headache, I swear, because you've been on everyone. We have 6 computer screens. There's information about you on all of them. And I watched a lot of your, because, we wanted to learn and make sure we were, or I was, did my homework, I guess. But some of the interviews I watched with you, and especially I really wanted to go back to Guiding Light and because it feels like a lifetime ago. I mean, for the viewers, I'm sure, especially, but to see, where that ended and how this began type thing. Especially because you did begin it on, like you said, on the web. That's just such a brand new avenue to be able to go down, and it opened up so many doors. When I watched the first one, and I wasn't completely familiar with the whole Guiding Light story, the fact that the first season 1, episode 1, you two, it starts with the two of you in bed together. Now I'm getting feedback from your millions of fans who are telling me, well, of course, that's where, because that was everything in that first 6 minutes was pretty much everything that you weren't able to do on regular TV.
Exactly.
Okay, she answered my question. That was it then.
Exactly.
All right.
No, that was intentional.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. It was intentional. It was, the story was told so beautifully on Guiding Light, but like I said, there were censorship issues, and so it just made sense to put that kiss at the beginning of the show. It was. Kim Teresi wrote the first season, and she came to me and said, so what do you think about almost a meet 10 seconds in? I said, yeah, perfect. So, and then we did a screening in Vegas for that first episode, private, and it was just this huge eruption of cheers, and then they wanted to watch it again and again and again. So it was a good call on Kim's part.
Yeah, I could see that.
And doing everything with a web series is kind of techy. You may not realize it right now, but everything is online, is web. It's like this direction of viewing it. Like we have everything I'm doing. I don't even watch regular TV anymore. I go to the web because a lot of us many times don't have a lot of time. I'm running from one place to another. no matter where you live. I mean, I happen to be here in New York, so you're going from one place to another. You're really busy. I'm able to catch my shows in transit. I can't do that in front of my TV at home with a cable box, but I can via web, and it's very exciting. You kind of go in that direction with that creativity. So with this being the last season, what is next for you and Open Book?
Well, it is the last season of Venice, the series, as it is now. There is going to be a spinoff with the ladies. I'm basically just taking it in a different direction and a different format, a smaller cast, and the story continues. I just want to put I want a little more of a dramedy, comedy drama kind of thing. Jessica, you wouldn't know it from, from her dramatic stuff, but she's a very, very funny person. So. And she can make me look funny, so I want to do something with her that makes me look funny.
Surround yourself with the right people.
That's right.
Right? You gotta. That's how you. Yeah. So we just want to take it in a different direction. So it's not gone. I think if it were gone, I'd be very, very sad right now. But I know it's not.
Right. Well, there's actually another question. You want to jump in there, don't you, Jen, about season 4?
Yeah, and actually, her answer kind of leads into this one. With season 4, it left everybody hanging, and I don't know how much you can really give away or what direction it's going in. I know everybody has their ideas, including myself. Although being the newbie on this, this Venice train, I can't tell you how many people who said to me, like, you kind of almost don't have a right to have an opinion about this. You are too new. You're too wet behind the ears. You have to wait. I'm like, okay, just saying what I thought there. But what was on your character's mind, like when season 4 ended? Can you share that?
Just putting it all out there. It's okay. It's a sink or swim moment of this is crazy, and I'm gonna stop your wedding, and I don't like this Laura person anyway.
Rightfully speaking,
every judge, and just I'm gonna put it all out there and see if there's one last chance. I think she's, I think she's really finally able to, fully love Annie, and this is the crossroads. Will Annie give her a chance? Okay. So.
Because I watched the episode of when at the Guiding Light when you were at the cemetery and you proclaimed your, you told her that you loved her.
Love.
And maybe an hour later, I was watching the last episode for Venice, and I walked around in a daze. I kept saying to myself, stop thinking about this now. Like, you have to focus. This is one of the benefits of working from home, because my work had no idea where I spent this last week.
Oh my!
But your crowdfunding. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I just feel like you guys have spent so much. I feel like I need to send over a masseuse. You watch 72 hours worth of,
I'm
and
not
then
going to
walking
stop
around.
You, really. I'm definitely not going to stop you. Maybe a couple of pounds of coffee too. No, it was so much fun, and it was like it gave me energy, because it just.
Oh, good.
In fairness, and I have to say this with Michele sitting right here, we are getting married next Saturday. So
that's wonderful. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It truly,
thank you.
It not only was so enjoyable, but it also let me sink into something that was so not my world.
Crystal, she's very, she was been obsessed about the wedding and the plans and the food and everything.
And I got like 5 days not thinking about it and really, following a storyline that I didn't. And now, of course, I can't wait. So it really, the timing was perfect. But your crowdfunding, obviously for season 5, at the time right now, while we're doing this interview and when it airs, I am undoubtedly sure it will be bigger
than this.
You just reached $93,000, I believe.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. Right? That is
amazing.
Fantastic. Yes. Is your goal 100 or 125?
It's 125.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it ends.
Close.
You're close, and it ends on the 16th. It's close.
Right.
Another week or two.
I think it's the 16th.
I think we have a couple weeks left.
Okay. Good. Okay. Excellent.
Sorry, go ahead.
So how did the crowdfunding come to be for Venice, and how can people donate?
Oh, the first 4 seasons, after we tried to figure out, how to produce this, and the fans wanted to help from the get-go. We just, you know, I and my partners really didn't know how to do it. So we started subscription, and we've been doing that for a few years successfully. But it just this year I just decided to do